Welcome to B2B with Randy and Craig, where we speak to local entrepreneurs and learn about their journey. Welcome to B2B with Randy and Craig, where we discuss the rise, the falls,
and the kick in the...
Come on, man. We're not doing that. My name is Randy.
I'm Craig from That's Alright Productions.
And today we have special guest, Kelly Codrington.
She's my
from
bestie.
K Collections Photography.
That's
Kelly.
Hi.
Why photography?
Oh my God, why
Jump the
photography?
gun.
Because you're sleeping, you're having a side conversation. I'm trying to run an operation here. Kelly, tell us.
Oh my God, photography found me. So I got a camera in 2016. It was gifted to me by my cousin, and it was an old camera. It reached the end of its life, but they just felt bad throwing it away, and they're like, "Do you want to mess around with it?" And that was 9 years ago.
So were you employed doing something else prior to that? Because now you're full-time
I was
photographer.
working part-time, full-time mom. That was my main jam.
Well, that's always a full-time job.
And I worked part-time for a private sector, I guess you could say.
That sounds more interesting.
In an office.
Okay.
It's been that kind of day today.
People.
All right, let's move on.
I can't say it, but it's not as interesting as you think it is.
We'll move on.
Yes.
We won't harp on it. We
Right,
won't harp.
yes, okay.
So you get this camera from a family member. It's
Yes.
2016. You start fooling around with it.
Kit
Right.
lens.
It was a DSLR. It wasn't even mirrorless. So if you know anything about photography,
I do.
that is
I do.
old school technology.
Okay.
It had its shutter count. Craig knows exactly probably what I'm talking about.
Let's back up. Speak English to us. So to a guy like me,
Right.
it has a shutter count. What is
Right.
it? Oh, so you could take...
So it just means pretty much if you were a car and a transmission, you reach 200,000 miles. It's gonna go any second.
Right.
It's not moving as
The
quick.
wheel's about to fall off.
Right. But something must have happened during that time. You started taking some photos.
Well, let me tell you where it really started. So back in the early 2000s, I used to
Give it to us.
I worked for the Heart Agency, which was an agency that did a lot of work in the Hamptons on the East End.
What,
So
like
there was
modeling? What it is?
So there was two different sections of it. There was the shot girls, and there was the Polaroid and flower girls. I was a Polaroid flower girl.
I always loved the shot girls. I never, not that I didn't love the Polaroid girls.
I just never made it to, I think I did shots a few times, but my main jam was the picture girl. So it was up to me to go out to all the clubs on the East End, Foggy Goggle, Turtle Bay, CPIs.
Bordy Barn?
Bordy Barn, no, I don't think we had an account there.
Oh my God, Dune Road back in
Dune
the That's a whole
Road,
different
Dune
thing.
Road.
We'll come back to that. That's a different
He's
show.
taking a trip down some other avenue.
Wall Street's right over here in Nassau County. That was another big one back in the day.
Right.
And I literally would walk around the club
Taking
selling
photos.
Polaroid pictures.
Oh, taking the pictures and selling.
Taking the pictures and then selling them. And then I got a cut plus tips for the night. And in college, I was doing really good. I did it for a few years. But little did I know that, because I'm a firm believer, everything's pre-written. I think that was the foreground to me having what it takes to not be afraid to bring the best out of people when taking a photograph.
I want to understand that. I want to make sure I'm understanding correctly. Your ability to walk up to people.
Yep.
At it cold.
There were sales.
Take their pictures.
I was a salesperson and a photographer.
Hey, these pictures are $5 each. I'm gonna and laugh.
The fact that they were all drunk in the Hamptons helped.
That
I'll take 6.
She's like, I'm killing it. But so then you get these.
Yeah.
So where's the? Because sales is one thing, but you picked specifically an art, right? I pick sales, but I didn't pick photography or videography because I don't know what I'm doing.
Right.
But I'm not an artist.
So it kind of found me, I didn't find the job because of it specifically. I was just get paid to be at the clubs in the Hamptons in college and make some money and still hang out. Cool. And then that was just kind of assigned to me, and I don't think I realized I loved it until it was given to me. But I'm spiritually crunchy, so I believe
That's all right.
It was all pre-written. This is my life's journey. It was the precipice for what was to come.
But what's interesting, so we're talking about this, that the photography found you, and we're talking about how you were not a shot girl, but taking pictures.
Yeah.
You were following the shot girl. You were smart. That's when you. But what you're not telling us, fast forward.
Yeah.
Today's 2025, and earlier in the week you were telling Craig and I that you had an experience in Manhattan recently. You were on a task. So let's talk about that.
Oh God. So I mean, there's a whole lot in between, like the.
But I'm going to close the gap for you.
You're going to close the gap for me. So I was invited to Fashion Week by not necessarily the Hamptons, which is a publication on the East End of Long Island, which is where I'm finding myself a lot lately, and I'm just like loving this era of my career. Yeah, correct. And I was invited to Fashion Week, and it was pretty cool. So. It was tied together with the Hamptons Polo Classic on the East End. Mm-hmm. So it was the same media company that ran that, was now running Fashion Week.
And you were brought in for Fashion Week.
I was brought in through the publication, not necessarily the Hamptons. Michelle, she was former Miss New York.
Whatever, but you were the one recognized and you were there.
I was specifically pointed out and said, I want to bring you to Fashion Week next week.
So again, for people listening, I just want to sum it up before we get to the middle, because we did leave a lot out.
Yeah.
Here's a young person, fell in love with a hobby, I'm going to call it, turned the hobby into a business. We left out a lot in the middle. We're going to get to it. But I just wanted to stress that she was talking about taking Polaroids at clubs. Now she's at Fashion Week in the Hamptons.
Ooh,
So my point is, I know that there's people listening that you're hearing you can't be a baseball player, you can't be an artist, you can't. It's not true. It's not true.
You drew lines I never even thought of right there, Randy.
Well,
wow.
Well, that's why.
Wow.
That's why I sit in this seat and you're in the couch.
I mean, seriously, like that was a complete art form. The way you just explained my story to me.
Well, thank you.
Thank you.
So let's talk about some of the stuff in the middle, because like Craig loves to say, that I like to say, that don't judge me by my mistake, judge me by how I correct it.
Yeah.
So I got to believe in photography. I know if I was there, my thumb would be in the No, but I'm sure there's a lot of those.
The lens cap is still on.
Great day. There's no batteries in it. I did the other day.
There's so many freaking angles and things that I could speak on. Like I say all the time, like photography, like it runs so much deeper. Like this has been such like a journey of like finding myself, perseverance, grace, like the lessons that I've learned making a hobby into a career, like at the end of the day, like I feel very like lucky, like that I was able to mold this life for myself. I am.
She's lucky, and not only, and she's a damn good photographer.
Thank you very much.
So let me ask you.
Wait a minute, I got
one more question. One more question I got to ask before we go into you. And watch your tongue. What do you specialize in when it comes to photography? For people listening that are not looking to be an entrepreneur, but they have an event coming up and they need a photographer.
So I started off shooting just events. So in 2018 is when I picked my camera back up after like the Hamptons in the early 2000s and family and all that in between. And I said, I want to just shoot events for friends and family. So I literally made a Facebook post, and I think I worked events for like, I don't know, just give me $100 to like show up and give you 4.5 hours of my time.
That sounds very cheap.
And I remember specifically saying events is always going to be my thing because I just had an eye for candid moments. Like I knew that was my thing out the gate. And I remembered saying there's no way I'll ever have what it takes to like direct somebody in a studio or a family session. Events is just always going to be my thing. And although I'm grateful for events and I now actually have a team that does a lot of that for me, portraits have like just totally become my thing. I now have my own studio,
which I've been to.
Yes, you have.
Craig, she took pictures of me and you.
Yes, she did.
Yeah. That was a lot of energy.
That was a lot of fun that day.
There was a lot of energy. It was. You'll see the pictures. Everybody will see them. We had a lot of fun, and you did a great job.
Thank you.
But
so everyone knows that. Well, not just that we're besties, but everyone knows.
Literally.
That I am the undisputed cinematography champion of the world because that's my shtick and that's what gets me remembered. Does Kate Collections have a motto, saying, or something that helps, tagline kids?
Picture this.
I think we kind of discover this working together, right? Like, because Craig has watched me work and he's like, wait a second. He's like, and I said it. It came out of nowhere when I was in your presence. I was like, you know what? I don't just take it, right? Because there's a difference. I've been on a lot of jobs and people have been like, you just made this experience fun. Everybody's always nervous. And they were like, it just flowed. And I'm like, well, and this is when it came to me, I don't just take it. I make it. Like I'm creating the energy, I'm creating the atmosphere, and at the end of the day, this is why people want me.
So your tagline is, I don't just take it, I make it.
I make it.
That was some intro to it. I just got that. You might have set a record. Usually people just answer yes and no and they give it to us. I appreciate that.
She does.
We got the whole
He
story.
got me in the habit of like really owning what you stand for.
Kelly, I'm a big B&I networking person, and B&I always says when you're speaking to the chapter, what a regular everyday customer would look like, what a dream customer would look like, and what a cream customer would look like. So like, in Craig's world, every day he's going to videotape an event. His dream customer would be somebody who owns multiple businesses, signs him up for a year contract, 2 years kind of. His dream is he gets sent to Fashion Week in Italy. He's gone for a year, and he's the man.
To the universe, sir.
3 weeks to be exact.
3 weeks.
Right now we are
no, he wouldn't come back.
about
He wouldn't come back.
We're working on it.
But you understand. So in your world, because photography is so much, there's so, headshots to events
you
to
could
weddings.
be willy-nilly all over the place.
What does your everyday customer look like? The dream and the cream.
Okay.
And if you're just tuning into WBAB, you're going to be listening to the answer from Kelly Codrington of K Collections Photography, who's about to give us the knowledge of her cream, dream, and dream. The cream.
The cream. All right,
let's move on.
Give us those answers.
Too much.
So I'm just going to phrase this or paraphrase this the best that I could answer it. I'm going to say, so I was all over the place, right? So I've been doing this now for 7 years, and I do everything from portraits on the beach, in my studio, engagement, babies, 6 months, cake smash, and I do it all with
chaos.
Car chaos. And I do all of it with a grateful heart, but anybody in the industry knows that if you're all over the place and you don't operate with purpose like every other business, you are going to get burnt out. And that was the one thing that I learned when I turned my hobby into a business is you better find your why, you better find your purpose, and you better find what it is that's going to keep you wanting to dig more into the business end of things.
Agreed.
So
important, by the way. So important.
Very.
Yeah, so important. So I would say that when anybody asks, what is it that you like to do? When I say I'm a photographer, it's definitely branding and boudoir, but I like to call it empowerment because I feel like boudoir has just gotten a stigma of being air quotes sexy, and hopefully we can say that. But
men and women both do.
It's called boudoir if a man does it.
I can't pronounce any of that.
Boudoir.
We just went over the term diva and devo before the show started.
Right, I didn't understand that. I thought Devo to me was a band.
It's a man. It's a man diva.
But for me, it was a band.
Yeah, I got it.
That's how old I am.
Got it.
Well, now he's learning something new every day.
You guys are too old. But, I'm too young. You guys are too young. I'm too old.
Right.
But I get that. I get that. That's you got to be focused. You can't be all over the place.
No.
What did I tell you, Craig, the other day? I said you got to be careful in business because it's like if you're hunting 2 rabbits, you're going to catch none.
Correct.
Now,
he didn't understand it when I said it.
No, I didn't. It's just kinda
you gotta circle in. But it's hard. It's hard when you do this full time.
It's hard when you're an entrepreneur because you think you can take on anything. You have a superpower.
Right. So right now, my focus as a business owner, if I could pass one more piece of advice to somebody who's been in this game and industry, is to now create more of a business out of it, not a sole proprietorship. I'm really trying to build a team where I already have my event team, but I want to build a little bit more of a niche team. I've gotten into mentorship, and I want to see the people I'm mentoring fly and do their own thing. Sure. But I think I'm also going to be able to utilize them. Not everybody's good at obtaining business rapport, maintaining the business, but they want to do the artistic part. So if I could find those people and it works for the 2 of us, now that's what I'm putting out in the universe.
So how does somebody who has an event find you?
Right.
So I would say, I really want to start getting into
What's your website? How about that?
Okay, perfect.
Very direct.
Are you telling
All right,
me
she can go, but how about your website?
It's kcollectionsphotographyli.com.
And is there a phone number?
631-413-4125. I watched enough shows to know that's exactly what that question
Right. I know, but you like going in a different direction. I've noticed
She's
that.
calling the shots as she sees fit.
Anybody who's listening, you've got to feel extra sorry for Randy today.
Why is that?
I have the female and the male version of this cockamamie laugh, and I'm in the middle of it. Help!
But yet he keeps us around. I'm just saying.
Not keep you around. You keep me around.
Yeah.
So that's what it is. Craig, you were going to say something.
So when you are at a gig, and are you bringing any family with you? Is your family involved in your business at all?
So it's funny. My son wants to shoot sports because he's a big, college football player,
Nice.
and
What position?
He's a wide receiver at Western Connecticut. In Connecticut, even though he got injured and didn't play at all this season, but that's a whole other story.
Yeah. That's another interview.
That's college
That's our
sports
medicine interview that we're gonna. That's for the month of March.
Yeah.
Nice.
So he said he wants to shoot sports, and I said, listen, that got me really excited because I'll teach you the ropes. So he's shown a little bit of interest, but I just think he's more intrigued with the whole entrepreneur lifestyle. So I'm really excited, and I need to figure out how to hone in on that. And I love that.
Yeah.
And
Shout out to my little nieces and nephews out there.
Funkle
Craig says hi.
All right.
I love it.
I can guarantee they're not up this early.
No, they're going to listen. They're going to listen.
I can guarantee.
They're listening.
And my daughter, I like to just recreationally bring her out with me. I give her my old camera, and I'm like, show me what you see. So even if I just expose her to it, I've given her a palette.
And it's funny because my father-in-law and my brother-in-law, big photographers. My daughters, 2 of them took to it, and then they moved to their phones. And now they're back to cameras.
Cool.
It's not the same experience.
It's generational though, because I am not into phone photography. Is an actual thing. You could take classes on phone photography.
And there's nothing against. Look, in this industry, it's very saturated, and a lot of people put out content with their phones, but they see the quality, like you said. Yeah. They started with the camera, they jumped to the phone, but then you see them
come back,
right? Because they can see that there's a upscale quality.
It's
jump.
an art form that's been around forever.
Yes.
It's funny because that's a very valid point. And even when we talk about podcasts, Craig and I, so we wanted to create an atmosphere of professionalism, and we didn't want you to be at your house, him to be at his house, and me to be at my house. Not that that's not professional.
It's just different.
It's different.
Yeah.
It's different. And I think that goes to the same as the phone, as a video. I'm asking, as a video camera or as a camera. It's different. It's not. It's just going to result is going to be different.
It's just a difference between a professional and not being you're a hobbyist. I don't care if you don't have an actual camera. You're a hobbyist.
Put it this way: if I was booking a wedding and I booked a photographer and they showed up with a bunch of cell phones, I wouldn't be that happy.
That's what I'm saying.
Right.
Right.
You want to see?
Just no. You want to see equipment. Yeah.
So tell me, is it color? Is it black and white? Tell me what's the trend?
The trends right now, I mean, it just give Instagram what it wants, I don't know if I mean, everybody's into branding and building their businesses right now. I don't know if it's just that I'm organically tapping into everything I'm manifesting that I want to do right now, which is kind of cool.
It's awesome.
Yeah. I mean, there's one thing that I tell clients is to just authentically be yourself without overthinking it. So trending, that's trending in my brain and my world and my rapport with my clients is authenticity.
Craig, you said earlier that Kelly's ability to catch these natural events, she has this ability, and I've seen Candid. Thank you. And I've seen it. I've seen some outrageous shots.
Thank you.
And I think that there's business people that are listening to our show that don't understand the power of photography. Video, we all know. Yeah. We see it. No disrespect. Yeah. We all know. Really, no disrespect.
Well, we're living in a more video-based world because we're instant gratification.
And not all videos created equal. And Craig brings but this is about you, not about you.
It's about
the photography. If a real estate agent sells a home, and that moment that they hand the key to that person, if there was a photographer in that room taking that photo, a video can't capture that.
You could get lost in photography. You're not going to get lost in videography. It serves its purpose.
Get lost in porn, not in videography. We're allowed to talk about porn.
What did I say?
What did
I do to deserve this?
You guys surrounded me with this laughing. I'm going insane. Hey, listen. First, we're going to run out of time, and I don't want to forget.
No, we don't
Tell
want
us
to do
again how somebody can locate your services.
Instagram, K Collections Photography LI.
Phone number
631-413-4125.
What's your favorite business book? What motivates you? Give me a book that you read that you would say you must read.
I tap into my spirituality as my operating principle. You're not going to find me reading like stuffy. Maybe I need to start, but like I love Gabby Bernstein. She's kind of my spiritual guru, and I feel like she helps me set my intentions, and that's very much.
And that's all you need. I'm
Correct.
not here to tell you. That's if that's moving you, it's going to motivate somebody else. Everybody's different.
Yeah, I'm spiritually crunchy. It's all about the spirituality at the beginning of every day for me.
That's so important. You know, I always say when I open my eyes, the first thing I say to myself is, "Today's a gift." I say to myself every day, it's not guaranteed.
There's no such thing as a bad day, is what I always say. Every day is still a good day. It's just a day
nice
with
thing
bad
to say.
things. No, every day is a good day that you're alive and breathing.
Every day above ground or something like that.
And able-bodied to some capacity, even though, you know, it's going to be different for some people.
That's a whole, that's another conversation.
Yeah.
But I got to tell you, we've been working with Kelly on B2B for about a year. We know Kelly much longer. But Kelly does all our photography. If you see it, if you see on Facebook, Insta, LinkedIn, any photographs that are associated with B2B were taken by Kelly. So she does incredible work. If you're out there, whether it's a personal photographer you need, a business photographer, brand development,
empowerment,
and also you're very involved with Jess, who's
Boss Babe 2 Brunch. Yes.
LI.
Yeah. She's just got one chapter right now on Long Island. She's blowing up pretty hard, and I'm like, my gratitude.
You're going to be at her event in March, aren't you?
Yeah.
So am I. I'm a VIP.
So am I.
So somebody said,
"Don't let anyone in there."
Guys, what's going to happen to us? We're either going to go in there and get roasted or no?
It's going to be amazing. I'm so happy that you guys are going to come. I love it. I love that you support women entrepreneurship and you honor it as like its own art form.
It is.
Camaraderie. I loved when you said when women unite in business, they have each other's backs like there's no tomorrow. And I found my people, because it takes a while to find those people, because there's a lot of mean girls out there who say they want you to sit at their lunch table and they do not.
Correct.
Yes, and I got to tell you, son, she's a rock star.
Yes.
I appreciate you introducing her.
Absolutely.
You're a rock star.
I've introduced her to so many people that are going to benefit from her group, and she's going to benefit from them. But we've benefited having you as part of our team and in our circle. So be crunchy. I love it.
Thank you.
Craig, do your thing, man.
Well, from B2B with Randy and Craig, that's a wrap.
Thank you for tuning in to B2B with Randy and Craig. Looking forward to hanging with you next week.